I'm Jim Csek with KelownaNow. We're going to try some other new stuff today. We've got Ian Burns, our managing editor, on the line, so he's going to jump in where we need him to jump in. Again, the big story still is the BC election still not finalized. We're just looking for that graphic to go up. But yeah, so BC election still not finalized. There you go. We should see it today, shouldn't we, Ian?
Yeah, that's the expectation. The last update was very recent, just a few minutes ago, and it has the same situation, but Surrey Guildford now is down to a 9-vote lead.
Wow. So narrowing down. That's going to be a razor's edge, right? Because that one would actually give the NDP the majority that they want, right?
Exactly. That would give them 47 seats, yeah.
Food Bank breaks another record with 2 million visits in a single month in Canada. That is... Pierre Poilievre was putting that out. Canadian Press did this story as well. That's a terrible, terrible story for a country such as Canada to have that many people visiting the food bank in a single month. Pierre Poilievre pledges to abolish the GST on new homes that sell for under $1 million. That's a big deal. That could mean the difference of, if in a $1 million home, 5%, he's saying up to $40,000 that people could save on an $800,000 home, and obviously $50,000 on a $1 million home. So some pretty good deal there for those would be new homes. You're only paying GST on brand new homes. The loonie continues its plunge now down to a 4-year low. That has a lot to do with, I would say, this country being managed by people that don't want to really tap into our resource sector. Again, not great news for the Canadian loonie, because that'll actually add to the inflation pressures. Some really cool stuff in internet with Starlink Mini now available in Canada. So that Starlink Mini, you can actually, if you have a glass roof on your car, you can put it on your dash. You can take the Starlink Mini, it's about the size of an iPad. You can actually suction cup it to the glass roof on, say, a Tesla, and you can have internet at up to 160 kilometers an hour. Nobody should be driving 160 kilometers an hour. But if you decide to, you can still have internet. So I drive to Calgary and Vancouver lots, and you don't get internet very often, so or access to your phone. So this would be a really good, and basically you can use internet then, whether you're climbing the Himalayan mountains or you're at the Arctic Circle or Antarctic Circle. Who doesn't need internet everywhere? I mean, I sure could use it. The impact of AI. We've got a chart here from ARK Invest showing you how big AI actually is. And we've shown there, you can kind of see some of the things. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see some of these things in the chart. Way over to the left, you're going to see the steam engine, and then railroads and electricity, telephone. And then you're going to see like the computers and stuff like that. But then if you look at the far right, and you're going to see the impact that AI is going to make, and they're pointing to two different inflection points there. The internet in 1995 to 2010, and now with what they say AI is going to do, it's going to be, I think, pretty amazing, and I think a lot of people are underestimating the effect AI is going to have on the world. We're 4 days away from Halloween. You've got little ones there, Ian. Are they going out, or are you taking them out for a few minutes, or...?
That is the plan, yeah. I've got a little pumpkin costume for my 1-year-old daughter. So Halloween make use of that.
Halloween looks pretty scary in that graphic there that our friends at AI generated for us. That was an AI generated image. From the new Canva's got a whole bunch of new tools in it. Canva's got this Dream Studio right now, and they just launched it. And Dream Studio, I used it a couple times, and all of a sudden it was bogged down because there's too many users are using it. And speaking of scary things, the next big thing is on November 5th. Talk about scary when we have the rhinos versus the donkeys, or the elephant versus the donkey. There you go. So I think they call them rhinos sometimes too. But November 5th, the big day, election day in the United States. It's kind of like makes our election here look very small in comparison, I would say, or not as entertaining for sure. And
yeah, you could say ours is more sensible. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go, more sensible, right? Because they had a really big event last night at Madison Square Gardens, and there's a lot of rhetoric on both sides on that event. Big event, though. Huge event. Yeah. So then there was an event in Texas as well for Kamala Harris's campaign that had a promise of, we got a little tweet here to play, and then we'll get some comment on that.
None other than Beyonce will appear with Vice President Harris tomorrow in Texas, we're learning, and NBC's Aaron Gilchrist is covering the Harris campaign today from Georgia, where she's set to appear with Bruce Springsteen. Aaron, the boss today, Queen Bee tomorrow. What more do we know?
This is news that a lot of people have been waiting to hear, whether or how Beyonce might show her support for Vice President Harris. And we have learned from 3 sources our team has that Beyonce will appear with Vice President Harris tomorrow in Houston, Texas. And the source says that Beyonce will perform during that appearance in Texas, obviously where she's from. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about really for months now.
There's a lot of a firestorm on the internet right now calling it a bait and switch because Beyonce did not perform. She spoke for a couple minutes and that was it. And I don't know, they showed some videos after on X where people were leaving and getting angry and all kinds of different things. Did you see any of that out there on the internets there, Ian?
I did. I saw a video of supposedly Kamala Harris being booed because Beyonce didn't perform. Right. But it is a bit tricky, that, isn't it? Because they also had Eminem. And that was kind of hyped, but Eminem, he only spoke for about a minute, I would say, and then he kind of walked off.
Did he perform as well? Did the boss perform? Did anybody perform?
I think surely Springsteen did. I'm pretty sure Springsteen did. And Barack Obama certainly did a rap, didn't he? Did an Eminem rap.
I missed it. There you go. But I mean, the Beyonce one, I mean, I would have went there too. Like if Beyonce, that's one of my favorite songs, Texas Hold'em, right? If somebody said Beyonce's performing for free, I would have been in that arena. And probably been a little upset because I heard it was pretty hot. There were people that had some, medical emergencies in that too, just because of the heat in that place. We do have one little video left to show you that Kent and I also recorded this morning. So we're going to run that video. It's on Teslas and used EVs actually, and no PST or no tax in British Columbia if you buy it privately. Go ahead and run that. Jim Csek with KelownaNow. I'm here with Kent Mulgat, also of KelownaNow. We're going to talk used EVs, right? We talked about this in the past. You actually finally did it. You finally bought a used EV.
Yes, I bought a used Tesla. It's a couple of years old. It's a 2023 Tesla. Loving it.
Yeah. So you went to register it, and if you buy a used EV, it doesn't have to be a Tesla. If you buy a used EV in British Columbia, it has more than 5,000 kilometers on it. There's no PST, but not according to when you went to the...
So I went, yes. So, I mean, you had told me that.
Yeah.
Right? And so I figured it must be so. And so I went to insure the vehicle with my, purchase papers in hand. And no, he says, you got the sales tax on that. I went, no, that's exempt. No, you got that's not true, sir, blah, blah, blah. And
so you called a friend.
Yeah, I phoned. I'm going, what's happening? Jim, what's happening right now? What?
So I actually had to go online and say, hey, listen, you can find it here.
And then the manager came and it was all straight. So yes.
But they would have charged you. They would have charged you $5,000 if you didn't say, whoa.
Well, it was
$4,800. It would have been $4,800.
It was $4,800 that I was going to, and it was really nice to not pay $4,800.
So the question is, have they done it to other people and they just haven't realized?
I wonder.
Do you know what I mean?
And if you notice that after the fact, would ICBC pay that back? Or would they have noticed that, there's an exemption here and notify me later?
I've heard it from a couple of people now that they didn't know it. Like from a couple of ICBC locations that they were unaware of it until you tell them.
Okay, and when did that one come into place, that particular exemption? That was just recent.
I think it's 2023 or 2022, right. Yeah. So, and it goes to 2027, I think. Go check online. You can go see it. You can go EV exemption on used EVs. And that includes EVs that you purchase out of province or out of country too.
Right. And there's another...
They have to have 5,000 K on them. And and it's all EVs. It's not just Teslas.
All of this is just one more way to encourage people to make the move.
So we don't spend too much time, but you've had it for a couple of weeks. What do you think?
Yes.
You made that plunge, right?
Really enjoying it. It's funny. It's gotten me into a few conversations with people who get their back up a little bit about Tesla still, right?
Yeah, it's polarizing.
And the phrase that comes up again and again is, well, with that added need for electricity, if everybody tomorrow got an electric car, then blah, blah, blah. That is clearly not going to happen.
No. Like you said, aliens probably will land here first.
Before everybody overnight gets an electric car. There is a transition. You can see it on a curve.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think that, well, you know more than I do about this, but people generally will be charging their electric vehicles at a time in the 24-hour clock where there is a lot less electric usage, so it's
off-peak hours.
Right. So therefore, it doesn't necessarily mean that for every electric car, it adds that much need to increase the capacity in your area.
So there's a thing called vehicle to grid, where actually the Teslas or EVs could be part of the solution as a part of the problem, where they can actually load balance.
We don't have that here yet, but how that would work, just to play that out, is that if you agree to be part of that program at a time when, say, in Los Angeles, they were close to going into a brownout for lack of power, they can take out of the people's batteries at home who are charging.
They would draw back. Just no different, like we think about from wildfires, how the helicopters sometimes will take water out of swimming pools.
Right. So the idea is in any given place, for the supply of electricity, you need to build that out and get a supply that meets the peak demand.
Correct. And if you think of an EV, it's basically a storage unit of electricity, because if it has a 100 kilowatt battery, there's 100 kilowatts sitting in there.
Okay, so over time, as more people move to electric, it will require an increase in capacity, but not on a one-to-one basis in terms of how much you use. Am I right?
So we're going to do another show. Kent doesn't even know it yet, but we're going to do another show. We're going to show Kent full self-drive, because Kent and I did one a while ago with version 11, but there's the new version 12 out there. So we're going to show you how much it's developed.
I'm going to do that?
Yeah, you're going to do that. Yeah, you're going to let the car drive itself, and you're going to get all freaked out.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting freaked out right now. I didn't even know that was happening.
We're just doing a quick thing. So again, no PST on used EVs in British Columbia on a private sale. If you buy it from a dealer, you're going to pay the GST, not the PST. But if you buy it like brand new, you're going to pay PST and GST or whatever, right? So
you don't want to know more about how I'm enjoying the car, what I like, what I don't like?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
Tell
overall,
us.
I just love it. One thing is when you do go to a supercharge station, you back up, and then you get the thing and you bring it to your car, and it just opens up. It knows you're there. You put it in. I don't have to punch in a number.
No credit card to key in.
It just happens. And if
any gas fumes?
And if I remember to navigate to the charging station before I get there, it starts preheating. It starts preheating the battery for me, prepping it for the charge to increase that.
And you're putting in a charger at home as well.
Yes. But the thing is, it's not really stressful. It tells you how far the charging station is away, when you're going to get there, and what charge you're going to have when you get there. And then when you plug in, it tells you how long it's going to take.
It's literally super smart.
Right. So on the downside, and there are some, on say a trip from Kelowna to Vancouver, you're not going to want to try to make it to Vancouver. You probably could but you're going to stop in Hope, take a break. It's not so bad.
There's a DQ right there. You get ice cream.
Yeah, well, I got the peanut butter parfait, was beckoning at me, but I didn't give in.
No.
But the thing is, yes. So a trip to Vancouver gets interrupted with a break. Call that a downside, if you will. The one other thing is when I go to get in the vehicle when I'm at home, it seems to forget who I am and taking the card out. But that's a little glitch that's probably my fault that I'll iron out.
Has the wife tried yet? Has Jen tried?
Can't
drive it yet?
She somehow seems still afraid of it. One thing I did do, though, was we were driving home, and I let the car in front of us get ahead, June Springs Road, no one around. Stopped the vehicle. I said, Jen, get your head against the headrest.
Oh, yeah, you let her show how much power there is?
Pedal down, and it is pretty impressive when you...
there's nothing like it.
It just takes off.
There's nothing like it, and especially from a guy that's driven muscle cars most of his life, including I just had a Corvette that I got rid of. The acceleration is so quick, right? It's so quick, and there's no lag, and it's just the torque is just unbelievable.
So quiet.
So quiet. Too.
I think what some people will miss, who that rumble, there's none of that.
So I hear in the Porsches though, you can get the option on an EV Porsche. They actually put the rumble in.
They add some rumble in.
So you could buy that in speakers. You can put that in there. Because you know you can make your car fart as well, right? On the horn, when you press the horn, it'll actually fart.
That sounds like an Elon Musk thing.
It definitely is an Elon Musk thing.
No. I'm not going to get that.
That's enough for today. How's that?
Thanks.
All right. Thank you for watching KelownaNow. There you go. That's a wrap. That was Kent and I talking about PST. Again, no tax period on used EVs if you buy them privately in British Columbia. We're going to keep continuing on that segment so you can learn a little bit more about that. There's lots of things to discover. If you're considering, there's lots of, I guess, misinformation or not accurate information out there about EVs. So we're going to try and clarify a lot of that for you out there. And with that said, we do thank you for watching KelownaNow.